All right, let's dive right in. How does a brand even get noticed in today's world, let alone become something people genuinely love? That's the billion-dollar question we're tackling. We're going to walk through a blueprint for building brands that don't just survive in this crazy environment, but actually thrive. Let's get to it.
So first things first, let's just admit it. Building a brand feels way harder now than it used to be. And you know what? That's because it is. The old playbook? Yeah, you can pretty much toss that out the window. But why exactly? What's really changed?
Well, the entire marketing battlefield has been completely transformed. I mean, think about your own behavior. We're all absolute pros at skipping ads, right? The days of one big TV commercial reaching everybody, long gone. Now we're all living in our own little media bubbles. And maybe the biggest change of all, social media handed everyone a megaphone. A single customer's bad review can literally be louder than a multi-million-dollar campaign. The customer is, without a doubt, in the driver's seat now. And look, this isn't just a small shift. The scale of this change is just staggering. A projection from McKinsey found that by 2010, TV ads would be just one-third as effective as they were back in 1990. That means they lost two-thirds of their power in just 20 years. That one stat just perfectly captures why the old way of doing things is broken.
Okay, so that sounds a little daunting, doesn't it? But here's the big question, the hopeful part. What if, in the middle of all this chaos, there was a blueprint that still works? A framework that's timeless because it's based on how our minds are wired, not on the latest social media trend.
Well, that blueprint exists, and it's all built around this really powerful idea called customer-based brand equity. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept itself is actually beautiful and simple, and it completely flips the script on what we think a brand even is.
And here's the core of it. A brand isn't what a company says it is. It's not the logo, it's not the product, it's not the fancy headquarters. The real power, the actual value of a brand lives completely inside the minds and hearts of its customers. It's basically the sum of all the thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences they have with you.
So the big question is, how do we actually build that value inside someone's mind? Well, this is our map. It's called the Brand Resonance Pyramid. I want you to think of it as our step-by-step guide. We're going to start at the very bottom and climb our way level by level to the very top. All right, every great building needs a rock-solid foundation, and that's exactly where we're going to start our climb. These first two levels are all about establishing who you are and what you stand for.
Level 1 kicks off with the simplest, most fundamental question you can ask, but it's one a surprising number of brands get wrong. It's just, who are you? Before anyone can like you or trust you, they first have to know you even exist.
The building block for this level is something called Salience. Now, this is way more than just people recognizing your name. It's about being the first thing that pops into a customer's head at the exact moment they have a need. You know, when you think, I need coffee, which place comes to mind first? That's salience. The goal is to be the obvious answer whenever the right question is being asked in your customer's mind. Okay, so people know who you are. We've checked that box. Now we climb to level 2, where we have to answer the next big question. What are you? This is where we start to give the brand some real meaning, to define what it's all about.
And this is absolutely crucial. Meaning gets built down two parallel paths at the same time. On one side, you have the rational route. We call it brand performance. Does the product actually work? Is it good quality? Is it reliable? This is the appeal to the head. But then you have the other side, the emotional route, brand imagery. How does this brand make me feel? What does using it say about who I am? That's the appeal to the heart. The truly great brands are strong on both.
All right, our foundation is poured. We've established our identity and our meaning. Now let's keep climbing to the upper levels of the pyramid. This is where we start turning that meaning into a real connection with our customers. So, level 3 is all about the customer's response. We've put our message and our meaning out there. Now what happens? The question becomes really personal for the customer. Okay, what do I actually think and feel about you?
And just like before, this response has two sides. You've got judgments. These are the rational opinions, the stuff happening in the head. Is this brand credible? Is it better than the other options? And then you've got feelings, the emotional reactions sparked in the heart. Does this brand make me feel warm or excited or safe? The best brands get a big thumbs up on both.
And now, we've made it. We are at the very peak of the pyramid. This is the ultimate goal of brand building. This is where everything we've done comes together to form a deep, lasting relationship. The question totally changes. It's not just about you anymore, it's about us. It becomes, what about you and me?
This ultimate relationship, this
peak is called resonance, and it shows up in 4 ways. It starts simply with their behavior. They keep buying from you. But then it goes deeper. It becomes an attitudinal attachment. They don't just buy you, they love you. After that, it gets even bigger. It becomes a sense of community. They feel connected to other people who use the brand. And the final, Holy Grail stage, active engagement. They're not just customers. They are fans, advocates, investing their own time and energy into your brand's story.
Okay, so we've climbed the whole pyramid, from just getting noticed all the way to creating true resonance. That's great in theory, but the big question is, how do you actually build this thing with the tools we have right now?
You know, this whole pyramid model becomes super practical when you start mapping it to the digital tools we use every day. Think about it. A search ad is the perfect tool for building salience, showing up at that exact moment of need. A really well-done online video, that's an engine for creating powerful feelings. And things like online communities or forums, they are literally built to create that top-of-the-pyramid sense of resonance and belonging. Every tool has its job.
So, we've got our pyramid, and it's an amazing tool for thinking about that direct relationship between a brand and a customer. But you know, in today's connected world, that's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. To really get it, we need to zoom out.
And here's the final big idea. Branding isn't a one-to-one street anymore. It's a whole network. The connection that customers have with each other is insanely powerful today. Their relationship with the company behind the brand, the people, that matters more than ever. Strong brands today aren't just managing a product, they're orchestrating this whole ecosystem of relationships.
Which really leaves us with one last critical question to ask ourselves. In this new world, is your brand still just giving a monologue, shouting its message out and hoping someone listens? Or is it hosting a conversation? A real one that involves your company, your brand, and most importantly, your community. The answer to that question will probably define your future.